Hey, everybody, this is Ryan from Athletic Conceptual Training here again with my co host, Terry Adams. What's up, boy?
What's up, yo?
Yo,
Let's
we
get
at
it.
it
It's about to be a
again.
banger.
Yes, sir. We got an OG legend. I mean, we talking about when I was a young guy coming up playing basketball, working on my game. I wanted to beat him. I wanted to beat this dude. He was out there doing his old hezzy threes, lashing on everybody, you know, from time to time. I get to get one in, but we're chasing him down. Uh, anyway, ladies and gentlemen, we have Tyjun Mack. Um, he has multiple AA and AS degrees from the Peralta College system. He attended CSU East Bay for undergrad, has a BA in English and a master's in English, certificates from UC Berkeley. He has a master's in educational leadership from Loyola Marymount. Played basketball at Chabot College. He's been coaching basketball since 2017 at CCPA Division II. He has a title in Division II and won MVP at the CSAC League. Born and raised in Oakland, California. Attended Emery High School and graduated in 2000. Ladies and gentlemen. Oh, one more thing. Teacher at the Coliseum College Preparatory School in Oakland, California. I bring you Mr. Tyjun Mack.
Hey, thank you, man. I appreciate
Yes,
y'all
sir.
having me on, man. It's great to see y'all. It's great to see y'all doing well. And I remember them games, man. It was fun times, brother.
Yes,
Amber
sir.
Park, man, man, a lot of us.
Oh, yeah.
Man,
So
I'll be mad. I'll be working on my game. I'll be there till the street lights came on.
hey, you was working though. You was working. That's all that
Hey,
matters. You was working.
hey, hey. Yeah, that's crazy. I still think about that. I don't know how you like seriously think you realize how serious I took those competitions, man. Whenever you came on, you would just come out of the blue. You're like, hey, I got next. And then got up, just hop on, and I swear nobody could stop that hezzy pull up. And I'm
Hey,
like, why can't anybody stop that hezzy pull up? I know what he gonna do. I don't know when he gonna do it. I know what he gonna do, and he just every time, bang. I'm like, how? What the? Terry over there smiling like it didn't happen to him.
And
Uh,
hey, we ain't got no receipts on this.
hey, it's a lot of hours of hard work, man. A lot of practice. It's funny though, because I tell my players that I coach now, I'm like, man, if y'all can see me at y'all age, like, bruh, I never missed. I swear, I felt like I never missed. And they was like, you can't shoot that good. I'm like, I'm telling y'all can go ask. Y'all can go ask people.
Right.
They will tell you, I can shoot. I can shoot the ball.
I feel like I saw a video. I don't know if it was a while back that you posted at school where you went out there and pulled a jump shot on them or something like that.
Yeah, I was messing around with a couple players, man. I was just showing them I can still move a little bit. You know what I'm saying? I don't play as serious as I used to play.
Got it.
But I can come out of retirement. I can get in shape. I can still shoot. The jumper still work. It's still automatic.
Okay.
Yeah.
And the handle is still there a little bit, but the quickness ain't what it used to be. That's all it is.
Yeah.
That age had kicked in now.
Yeah.
So what you're saying is we can play 21 now.
Yeah, I can still play 21 now. I can post you up, put you in the post, high post. I can still shoot the three, all that stuff. But I ain't gonna blow past you no more. That's audio you there. I gotta hit you up a little bit.
Oh man. Well, hey, let's jump into these questions.
Yes, sir.
So Emery High, class of 2000. What was the sports culture like back then? Were there any coaches or mentors who left a lasting impact on you?
Man, you know what? The culture at Emery High basketball was actually really good, and sports in general. was pretty good. I mean, you got to think at the time I was at Emery High. Emery High was a 7 through 12, right?
Okay.
So you start 7th grade, go through 12. So when I got there, they had just came off of a state championship, right? So I had Darnell Robinson there. Darnell Robinson ended up going to Arkansas, played Arkansas for a couple years, and then got drafted, right? Everybody there had some good size, could play basketball. Yeah, Rob Creer. I know y'all remember Rob Creer.
Yep.
Rob Creer, Eric Rosby. I mean, they were loaded, man. They had a lot of talent there, right? And I mean, Emery had a lot of talent anyway, just because a lot of the kids that lived in Oakland that couldn't go to like Oakland High or Oakland Tech, they were at Emery. And so we was loaded. We had talent, man. So it was always competitive, man. You was always like just trying to work on your game. You was always trying to get better. You know, you get out there, you get lashed like everybody. Like I got torched. You know what I'm saying? I remember Armando Cole like crossing everybody over, man. I was a victim of the crossover, and I was like, man, I gotta go get better, right? You know. So that was a thing, man, and we all was constantly just like pushing each other. I remember Stanley, you know, everybody know him as Mr. Fab now, of course.
Yeah.
Stanley used to be out there working with me, like, bro, let's get out here and like let's put some jump shots up. And I'm like, okay, cool. And me and him, we'd be at the park, we'd put up, 50 to 100 jump shots, threes, and he'd make me play him in the post and all this different stuff. So we was always kind of just pushing each other, man. And it was good. It was a lot of fun, but it was hard work. It was competitive. You wanted to make the team. You didn't want to get cut. And so, you put the work in, not just in practice, but outside of the team practices and stuff like that. So, when you talk about that jump shot, like I spent a lot of time at Stanford at 5 in the morning and 6 in the morning putting shots up before I went to school. Cause that was really where I could get that work in. And then being a small guard, I mean, at the time I was like, coming into high school, that was like 5'3", 5'2", 5. I was small. So I had to learn how to shoot over everybody. I had to learn how to get past everybody. So I put in all my work outside of like when the team practices came. So when I came, I could show like, hey, I got this new move. Let me try it.
Yeah.
And that was the thing. And so, it was good, man. It was a lot of fun. I always enjoyed it. It helped me to develop that competitive nature. I think everybody at that school was like ultra competitive, man. We just wanted to like win. We wanted to beat each other. We wanted to win. And it was also a family too. You know what I'm saying? So like, we all played together. Like you couldn't, we could all go anywhere else. And we felt like we was like the best. Like we can go anywhere. Like we didn't care R5 or R10 or our team. We didn't care who we played against. We was like, yo, we can beat anybody. Yeah. So that was the mentality, in our school was, Emery was little. Emery was a little school. My graduating class was like, I think it was like 50, maybe 42. I believe it might be like 42 people. But, like we all had that heart. We all had that, like that family feel to it. And it was always fun.
Yeah. We just I just went to the Hall of Fame ceremony at Oakland Tech where Mr. Fab Stanley got his Huey Newton Award.
Yeah.
So I was there, and it was cool to see him get that and watch the game at Tech. And also I was there from Uncle Noah Hingston, who got inducted into the Hall of Fame for track and field.
Oh, that's dope.
Yeah.
And shout out to Stan, man. I mean, that dude is doing some amazing work through Oakland. Amazing work.
I'm trying to get him on here, man. I can't.
We got to have a conversation with him, man. We'll call him up. I'll call him up. Be like, hey, man, you need to get on here, man. Represent one time.
Yes, sir. That's Emery High is great. So you went on to play basketball at Chabot College. How did that transition from high school to college level basketball influence your mindset as an athlete?
Man, you learned hard work, bro. You learned hard work and you learned balance, right? At Emery playing, I had decent grades, but always had somebody kind of like pushing me in the background. So like Bodipo, Jose Bodipo, which was like one of my coaches, Dennis Campbell, which was another one of my coaches, Victor, another one of my coaches. Like they was always kind of like pushing me like academically, right? And then like, that came first, and it was the basketball. But then when I got to college, it was like, yo, like we really just want you to play hoop. Like we don't really care about the other stuff. And so like it was on me as like a young man, like trying to find myself to be like, yo, I have to make sure that I'm doing my schoolwork so that I can stay eligible to play basketball.
Yeah.
So it was a learning experience. I didn't do what I really needed to do at Chabot as far as like academics. So I got there and I kind of was like just taking stuff. I was, I think I took like a sports medicine class. I think I took like a psychology class. I took like a history class. But I wasn't progressing toward anything that I wanted to get a degree in. I was just trying to take enough units so I could play basketball. I was like, yo, let's just do this so I can hoop.
Yeah.
And so it ended up being the wrong, the wrong mindset and the wrong outlook, right? Like I didn't, after I finished playing, by the time I finished playing, I only played a year there. But after I finished playing, I was like, yo, I ain't progressed toward nothing. I don't got nothing on my transcript. All this stuff don't be nothing at all. But I had a good, but I had a decent season. Like I played a season of basketball. Like that was cool, And so it made me realize that like getting into college, like understanding that like you have to know what you want to do, like, and you have to make sure that's a priority for you. Like, because nobody else gonna make that a priority for you. Like you got to make that a priority. Like, you have people that are supportive, but like they only gonna support with like what you show, right? What you show them that's important to you. So at that time, what was important to me was basketball, right? My education wasn't as important. Me getting my degree wasn't as important. So they were like focused solely on basketball. And so because of that, I wasted, a year and a half there, just like, just hooping, but not really progressing educationally or academically. So I learned a lot from that experience. And it's something that I try to drag to my students now. I'm like, yo, like, don't get caught up in this. Like you gotta keep your focus. You gotta know what you want to do, and then kind of like push toward that, so that you're not wasting your time. You don't want to, look back years and be like, I should have did this. Or I should have did that. Like, nah, you don't want to do that. You want to make sure that you keep that focus on what it is that you want to accomplish, and then push toward that.
Yeah. Thank you for sharing that. I think that is really good information, especially for any athletes that are watching and listening and saying, I should just focus on basketball. No, education is important too. One of the things that was crazy for me watching you grow up is I always thought you had good grades.
Man,
I didn't know for sure, but I had this impression that you were like, like you had that.
So I had decent grades. I wouldn't say they were good, right? Yeah. And the reason I say that is because, like, to play high school basketball, you only need a 2.4 GPA, right? And a 2.4 GPA doesn't really get you anywhere, right? You want to go to like a elite college, you want to go to like a D1 school or something like that. What they really want to see is like, can you actually like hold an academic standard for yourself, that academic excellence, and like play sports at the same time, right? So you need like a 3.0, a 3.4 like GPA for a recruiter or a college to really take you serious in terms of sports. You know what I'm saying? Unless you're just like an elite athlete, right? And there's not a ton of elite athletes.
No.
Right. So you have to like set that bar for yourself. I had good grades because it was a requirement in my house. Right. Yeah. And my mom was like, you can't do nothing without a 3.0. So true story, high school, I'm playing basketball my freshman year. And like I said, your grades come out in the middle of the season. Your semester grade come out in the middle of the season.
Ooh.
So I'm playing. I'm good, right? I think I'm good. I'm playing. Report card come out. I got a 2.7. Now, moms had already told me, hey, you can't do nothing in this house with anything less than a 3.0. So I'm like, I got 2.7. It's cool. She ain't really gonna trip. You know what I'm saying? I'm in the middle of a game, win the game. I remember my mom coming in, and had to be the second quarter. Of the game. Now, mind you, my mom she only came to my basketball game one time, ever. She never come to the game. She never was like super supportive of sports, but She came to this game, and I'm like, oh, it's cool. My mom is here. Like, I'm about to show out, right?
Right.
Nah, they ain't what happened. Her mom's come in. She got her headscarf on, right? She got her work clothes. She just got off work. She got her headscarf on and everything. She come in. She walked right on the floor, walked straight to the bench. Tell my coach, Mr. Campbell, Tyjun is no longer playing this season. I'm like, wait, what? What's happening? Hey, get your shit and we out. And I'm like, what's going on, right? She grabbed me by my jersey, pulled me off the court, right? Coach saw somebody else see it immediately, right?
Yeah.
And I go home, I'm talking to my mom the whole time in the car, like, man, what happened? She like, you tell me what happened with your grades. I'm like, well, I mean, it's a 2-point, like, it's not that bad. It's not bad. You know, I got all B's and a C. Like, it's not bad. She like, but what is my standard for my household? And I was like, well, it's a 3.0. She was like, well, you can't play nothing without 3. You can't work. You can't go nowhere. You can't do nothing without a 3.0. From there on out, man, I maintained a 3.0 the rest of my time in school, right? And I wouldn't even say that's good. And the reason I say it was decent is because I knew I could do better.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I had the ability to do better. I was smart enough to do better. But I did what I had to do to, like, just make sure I could stay eligible.
Yeah.
And so, you know, I tell, you know, going back to, like, just my own experiences, I try to explain that to students, right? Like, hey, do more. Like, don't just do just enough. You know what I'm saying? Do more. Like, you got to do more. Everything, right? Everything in your life, whatever, you just got to do more. You got to constantly, like, just push yourself to go forward. I didn't push myself. I was like, yeah, 3.0 is cool. I could do what I need to do. So, when it's time to graduate, I didn't have no, I didn't really have the financial, money, the assets that I needed to really go off to a big time college or do really big things because I didn't push myself.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, you would think though that, like, yeah, I had great grades. What I'm saying? All my friends around me did though. You know what I'm saying? Ramon, my friend Ben, they all had 3.4s, 3.7, 4.0s. And I was like at the bottom of the total pole among my friend group, man. You know what I'm saying? I didn't know. Like, I thought we all was doing the same. And they was like, nah, we actually rocking it out in this classroom. You just messing around.
Yeah.
I learned late, man.
Hey.
Mom had to make a statement on you.
Yeah,
right.
mom definitely made a statement. It sticks with me to this day, man. I tell all my students, I'm like, look, man, you can't, like, you gotta hold that expectation for yourself. My mom held an expectation for me, and like some parents won't hold that expectation for you. They're like, yo, like, they understand how difficult it is and stuff like that, but you have to hold the expectation for yourself. You got to know, like, hey, I want to be up here. Or for me to get here, I know I got to do this amount of work to get up here. You know what I'm saying? And so it was a lesson. But mom's definitely taught it.
Yeah. That's a great story.
Oh yeah.
When the hair wrap is on.
It's all business. It's all
right.
business because she didn't even think about taking it off in public. Like,
right. That's what I'm saying. And she outside, bro.
All business.
You should have saw the faces of the referees and like as they looked at this woman, like, just walk across the floor and just be like, just grab me, like, let's go.
Ain't nobody better say nothing.
Yeah, they like, I don't know if I should call a tech or call the police or what. Like, we don't know what we're supposed to do right now. And the coach is just like, well, hey, you go on in, son. Go on in.
Wow. Terry, you got the next two, man.
Oh man. Hey, that right there is wild for sure. So tell me something that you when you say do more, right? So when you talk to your players about doing more, when you talk to them about it, and I know you said you tell them, do more than just what's being asked of you, do more, try to be better. How do you show that to them to make them, to motivate them?
One way I think I try to show or motivate my students to do more is by being there for them. Right. And so, like, being there for them when the lights are off, you know what I'm saying? When cameras aren't around, when, it's like, yo, like, I'm available, I'm accessible to you 24/7. You know what I'm saying? Like if you want to talk about sports, we can talk about that. If you want to talk about life, we can talk about that. You want to talk about education, about your academics, about your goals, whatever that may be. Let's talk about it. And I'm going to help you make a plan to get where you want to go. You know what I'm saying? That's what I mean. Like for me, like that's more, right? It's like, yo, I'm not going to like just sit here and listen to you and like listen to you complain or listen to you like mope around about what it is and talk about like, no, let's not do that. You say you want to go to college, play basketball. All right, let's build the plan for you to go to college and play basketball. Okay, you want to go to this university? All right, let's build the plan for you to go to this university. Right, let's go do the research. Let's go do this. Let's go do this. Okay, you want to be scouted? Okay, hey, check it out. I know this and this and this person. I'm about to put you in contact with such and such and such. Right, like that's the type of work that I try to do. And you know, in trying to motivate kids to understand that, like, yo, like you're saying you want to do more, or you have this vision. This vision that you might have, right, requires you to push yourself further than what you normally would do.
Yeah.
And so I know that because I was there once. And because of that, I'm going to help you get there. All you got to do is be willing to buy into the program, right? If that's what you want to do, buy into the program. I have a student right now. I have a freshman. And he had a solid season. Most of my freshmen that I play, because I coach varsity, most of the freshmen that I play, I have very, very like they are restricted in what they do on the floor. Yeah. Right. Most of my freshmen, they're like, hey, your objective is to like really like move the ball, play good defense, like learn how to play defense, learn how to communicate on the floor, and be like a help piece, not really the main attraction. You're not the main attraction, right? I'm not expecting no freshman to go out and give me 20 a night, or you know what I'm saying? Just be, make some open shots, you know what I'm saying? Take care of the ball, don't turn over the ball, play defense. Like you know what I'm saying? You be a dog on defense, like that's how you gonna stay on the floor with me, right? Mm-hmm. And so that's always been my philosophy, right? And so I had this freshman that actually had a solid season, but he has some game. He has a little bit of game. And so at the end of the season, I was explaining to him, I'm like, yo, like, hey, I want you to go do this thing now, right? I want you to go work on your body. I want you to get stronger. I want you to go like run track, right? I want you to go do all these different things because like I need you to physically be better. You know what I'm saying? You got to get your body in shape. You're not ready for the physicality of the game yet. Hence why I didn't want to like throw you in the fire. You're not ready for that physicality. I need your body to get ready for that physicality. And he was like, oh, I don't want to do this. I don't want to run. I don't want to do this. I don't want to do this. And I'm like, okay. I'm like, but you can't tell me you want to get to the next level if you're not really to do that work yet.
Yeah.
Right? Because that's the work that you got to do. And so he's seeing his teammates. I, told his teammates same thing. Hey, you guys are going to be, leaned upon more next year as these seniors are leaving. You guys are going to be leaned upon more to do more. So you got to get your body together. You got to do these different things. So they all went. They're all playing. I have some playing running track right now. I have some that are playing volleyball right now. Like they're all like active. They're all like weightlifting and all these different things. And him and another kid is the only ones that aren't. And so he came back to me this past Thursday. And he's like, Mr. Mack, he was like, I was talking to one of my teammates and they was talking about how they feel like they've gotten faster already, how they're getting stronger and how they, they're moving better, they're stretching better, they're doing these different things. And I was like, yeah, it's the program. He was like, what do you mean? And I'm like, it's the program. It's the same program that I was trying to have you on that I'm telling you to do.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I'm like, if you want to get better, you got to be willing to work. You got to do more.
Can't dodge that smoke.
Yeah, you can't dodge it. You got to go do it. You got to jump into it. You got to do the work. It don't happen overnight. You got to do the work. And he was like, oh. And I'm like, yeah. I'm like, do you want to be here in 4 years, right? Do you want to be a senior and still playing the same way you played as a freshman? I'm like, because you're still doing the same thing that you did when you was a freshman. And when you was in 8th grade and 7th grade, you're still doing that same program. That same program is not going to work. You're not pushing yourself. Mm-hmm. You got to switch it up. So I'm telling you to switch it up. So now he's like, okay, I think I see the vision. I'm going to go do that because I don't want to look the same way my senior year. And I'm like, all right, cool. But again, it's all about buy-in, right? It's like you have to get people to buy in to like what you want to do and the vision that you have for them as well as the vision that they have for themselves.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah. I think all kids definitely need that motivation, and sometimes it do take it take seeing it happen from someone else, for someone else, and you're like, dang, I remember I used to be better than that person. All of a
Mm-hmm.
sudden, how you doing that? Well, hey, we told you how to get there. We
Yeah.
gave you the sauce. You
Yeah.
just decided not to eat it. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
I gave you the vision. I told you what I did. I told you what other people did. I'm showing you. When I was in high school, I had so many, it was so many good players I played with and played against. I mean, I played against, Allende Ubaka. You know what I'm saying? He went to Cal.
Ooh,
You know what I'm saying? I played against uh uh um
Ryan
uh,
Johnson.
uh hey, you can ball, right? I played against you though. You know what I'm saying? You can ball, right? Uh,
I used to give Ryan all that
Armando,
work though.
Armando Surratt, you know what I'm saying? He went to
Yeah.
Miami, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Mm.
Like Leon Poe, like, you know what I'm saying? He went to Cal.
Yeah.
Like, I played against all them dudes, man. Like,
Mhm.
them dudes worked. You know what I'm saying? They
Mhm.
were talented, but they was working, man. They was trying to get their game better and better and better. I remember playing Allende in 7th to 8th grade, and I was like, man, like, this kid is good. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's good. And I'm like, I'm better than him. And then, like, 2 years later, I'm like, yo, he's dunking on people, bro. Like, whoa. You know what I'm saying? Like, what happened? Like, he was working. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? And that's what you see. And to speak to what you just said, sir, it's like you see people, you're like, oh, I'm better than them. And the next thing you know, it's like, nah, they surpassed me. Right? They just kept on going. You keep on going because you're working when nobody is looking. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so that's what I'm trying to teach them. Is like, hey, you got to work when nobody's looking. You gotta be working. I'm gonna open the gym up for you. You got to work though. You know what
Mhm.
I'm saying? So
Yeah.
How has your English degree and advanced studies in educational leadership shaped the way you coach and communicate with your players?
um, I think I think I'm able to make that connection between like I guess I call it an educated jock, right?
Okay.
Like, like I've always considered myself like, or a hip square, whatever you want to call it, right? Like,
Mhm.
I feel that like I constantly tell them like you can be smart and like do this stuff at the same time,
Yeah.
right? You can be an athlete and you can be intelligent. You can be super intelligent, right? You can have degrees. You can, what I'm saying, you can push yourself. You could be a 4.0 student in the classroom and like be really good at sports. Like you don't have to pick between the two. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So I try to communicate that. You know what I'm saying? I also feel like I use like language and like just the way I discuss and talk about stuff, how I break stuff down. So I help them understand basketball, right? So,
Yeah.
as basketball players, we know that like details are important, right? Like, you know, when you're driving to the lane, right? Like, driving in a straight line in comparison to circling out, it makes
Yeah.
a huge difference. You know what I'm
Yep.
saying? Like, hey,
Yep.
if I try to angle, you know what I'm saying, instead of driving straight to the hole, you know what I'm saying, that might give the defense the opportunity to
Mhm.
to block the shot in comparison to giving me the opportunity to get an and one. You
Right.
know, so I try to use that and try to explain to them, like, yo, like, this is why we do what we do. Hey,
Yeah.
this is why I'm telling you to do this type of dribble. This is why I'm telling you to hop step in the paint. This is why I'm telling you to curl off a pin down or curl off,
Mhm.
you know what I'm saying? How you know what I'm saying, when you're curling, make sure that your shoulder is touching your teammate's shoulder on the
Yeah.
screen. This is why this, instead of curling out wide, you allowing the defense to get over the top of it, and now they can cut that handoff pass off, or they can
Right.
still get on top, right? Like all those things. I think that like language and having that ability to just really break down and talk about things
Mhm.
gives me the ability to just connect with all my students, right? All the kids that are playing. It's like, yo, like let's, like let me explain this to you. Let me show you how this works. You know what I'm saying? I could get out there and show you too, but also like, hey, let me write it up and let me show you how this goes and why this happens and like what the defense is going to do and like why all this happens. Like, and they understand that. And I
Yeah.
think that's good for them in their development because you talk about like basketball IQ, which is like I feel like IQ is just as important, if not more important than actual skill. Like
Mhm.
knowing what you're supposed to do on the court and how to do it and when to do it. Like
Yeah.
those things are so much more important than just being like, oh, I can dribble really good. Right?
Right.
It's like, sure, you can dribble, but you ain't moved nowhere. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
So stuff like that. So I think it plays a role. At least for me, I think it helps me in just being able to communicate those different things to the kids, and also showing them that, like, hey, you can be educated and be an athlete and do this different thing on the floor at all times.
Okay. Yeah. With your computer science certification, have you ever integrated tech into your coaching methods? Like, for example, data tracking or game analysis or athlete performance apps?
Um, I haven't as of yet.
Okay.
I would like to do more of it. I've tried to do a little bit of it, like when I'm doing um video breakdowns and stuff like that. I try to talk about, like, what we're seeing, or like how many times like a team runs a certain set,
Yeah.
or how many times we run a certain set, how many times this actually worked, and showing them those things. And so, you know, software is expensive. I'll
Oh
put it
yeah.
like that, right?
Yeah.
The software that they offer for high school students, like compared to like colleges and stuff, I know colleges
Oh
have,
yeah.
the money to do it,
Yeah.
but high schools, our high school, at least my high school is a very, very, it's a Title V school, right? It's a Title
Yep.
V school.
Yep.
Uh, not we don't have a lot of money. Sorry,
Yep.
Title I school don't have a lot of money. And so I have to do a lot of the splicing and video stuff on my own.
Okay.
I have an assistant coach who helps, but he also coaches um at a JC as well. So
Okay.
so
Yeah.
he helps me as well, but a
Hmm.
lot of it I have to do on my own.
Got
So
it.
so you try to just splice and cut up so much stuff so that students can see, so your players can see, like, hey, like, these are the things that work well, right? And
Right.
here's a statistical analysis to, like, show that, right?
Yeah.
Hey, when we run this action right here, this play always comes open, we should run that more,
Right.
right? um this person hits this jump shot from the corner all the time, we're
Yep.
gonna run actions to get this player to this corner so we can take that shot because he shoots 60% from that corner,
Yeah.
things like
Yeah.
that. So
Yeah. I mean, yeah, it's you make a good point. I mean, and I think, I don't want to deviate too much, but funding is definitely a huge issue um, overall.
yeah.
Um, so you've been coaching at CCPA since 2017, winning two divisional titles and developing a BAC SAC League MVP. Can you walk us through your coaching philosophy and what sets your program apart?
um yeah, I mean, it's so the backsack Bay Area Charter School Athletic Commission, it's basically all the charter schools through Oakland, Hayward, Richmond. And it's the smaller schools, right? And we used to
Hmm.
be a smaller school before our expansion. We just started expanding in 2019, I think. I think it's 2019 is when we started our expansion.
Hmm.
But prior to that, we were a small school. We had about 300 to 400 kids at the school,
Okay.
right? And so, um, your philosophy around, like, coaching them out, because first off, you don't get a lot of talent, right? When you have a small school, you don't get a lot of talent,
Yeah.
right? And so you are essentially trying to grow players. And
Yeah.
and you have to create a program that allows you to grow players. So you're not looking at, like, this is a kid that you're gonna have for like 1 year or 2 years. You're like, this is a kid I'm gonna have for 6 years. So our school starts from 6 to 12, right? Or
Yeah.
so we're gonna have this kid for 6 to 7 years. Um, and so your intentions is always about, like, hey, how do I develop this kid to, like, learn fundamentals first?
Yeah.
Right? Can they do fundamental stuff? Can they dribble? Can they
Hmm.
pass? Can
Hmm.
they shoot? Do they know how to play defense? What's their defensive stance look like? Do they know how to slide their feet? And then you go from there to being like, okay, like, now can we run, like, simple actions? Do we know how to run pick and rolls? Do we know how to run pick and pop? Do we know how to cut to the rim? Do we know how to box out? All those different things, right? And then from there, now you start looking at, like, what players really do good and what can I build, right, with those particular players, right? So my coaching, my offensive and defensive schemes really change every year depending on who I have, right? This year I ran. a lot more man defense, right? And I played man defense because I had 4 of my 5 players who can really move.
Yeah.
Right. They could really get on the ball. They can really press the ball. And so that allowed me to then play more man and allow my big man really to sit in the paint and really be a deterrent. Right. Didn't really need blocking shots, but really just being there to just be like, yo, like if you come in here, I might block your shot or I might knock you down.
Right.
One or the other.
Right.
But something's gonna happen if you come in here. Right. And so that was a philosophy I used this year. Right. And then because I had a bunch of players who had the ability to kind of put the ball on the floor and could score a little bit, I didn't focus on my offense on like one player or 2 players. I focused it on just moving the ball a lot and trying to get people open shots. Right. So that was the philosophy this year. Right. In the years past, when I had an MVP, Joseph Martin, he was the MVP for the back sack. That year, I literally had a kid who was playing point guard, and he was literally playing out of position per se, right? He was playing point guard, but he really was a scorer.
Okay.
And I was like, you know what? First thing I'm gonna do is move you off the ball and let you like go score, and because he could do it really well. He could shoot the ball. He can get to the rim. He was extremely quick. He could shoot the 3, and he was also my best defender. So I was like, let me take the ball handling duties out of your hands, and I'm gonna make you the scorer. And in that system, I ran a 3-out, a basic 3-out offense. But I ran a lot of pick and roll.
Okay.
Right? I ran a lot of pick and roll and allowed him to get downhill because once he was getting downhill, there was nothing you could do with him.
Right.
Literally, And
Right.
so he averaged close to 30 for the season. He averaged close to 30 for the season.
Wow.
And I mean, he was so good. I legit, like, I kid you not, I had one game where we had this coach, and me and the coach is hella cool too, by the way. I'm not gonna say his name, but he came to me before the game. And he said, "Hey," he said, "number 5." He said, "We gonna double him the whole game." And I was like, "What?" He was like, "We're gonna double him the whole game." And I thought he was playing. I was just like laughing, right? I get back to my team, we get in the huddle. And I said, "Joseph," he said they're going to double you the whole game. He said, "Seriously?" I was like, "Yeah." I was like, "If they double you, that means somebody open. So we just going to play off everybody else." Right. And I was like, "But if they don't double you, I want you to attack every time. If the double don't come, just attack." And he was like, "All right, coach." And so they literally did double him almost the entire game. Like they played a boxing 1 on him the entire game.
Yeah.
Had one person following him the whole game. And anytime he touched the ball, the person on that side came up to try to trap him. And I was just like, wow, I had never I played basketball, I've watched basketball for a long time. I've never seen that at the high school level like that, unless like you see that only when you have you see a team that might have one good player and nobody else can play, then they'll box and win you.
Yeah.
But that team that I had was actually really good. We had a sitter that was 6'6". I had a couple of shooters around him. Like we actually had a really good team. So to see that happen to him, I was like, oh, like yeah, he legit. Like they really, he really scares them.
Yeah.
And so it was fun. It was a lot of fun, but really changing his mentality on like that first year when I got him, I was just like, yo, like I'm gonna take you off the ball. I want you to start shooting. Like I want you to shoot the ball. I want you to like attack the rim. And initially he wasn't an aggressive player. He was really, really passive. But I just kept on pushing him. Like, yo, like I need you, like, in order for us to win, for this team to go where we wanted to go, like I need you to attack.
Yeah.
So that's what he did. He attacked and we ended up winning the back sack. And one thing about the back sack is during that time, now it's changed a little bit, but during that time, if you won the back sack, you got an automatic bid into the OAL playoffs.
Oh, okay.
So and now we still have that now, but it used to only be the team that won the back sack. It was like the team that won the back sack got an automatic bid to OAL playoffs. Now it's the top 4 teams in the back sack get an automatic bid to the OAL playoffs. So they've expanded it more to allow more opportunity because we have like 24 teams in our conference. But he got us to the OAL playoffs. And that was like the first time that we had ever made it to OAL playoffs. And it was a disaster. We got killed.
Yeah.
We got killed because OAL is a different beast.
It is a different beast. I mean, I've been doing this podcast and talking to legends from the OAL, and it is old. Like it is the most competitive
Yes.
I've experienced. They have warriors.
Yes. It is a dogfight in there. It's a dogfight. I mean, and it's almost every team. I mean, you always have like one team that isn't really good in the OAL,
Mm-hmm.
but for the most part, from top to bottom, they're really solid, right? The Oakland, right now Oakland Tech and Oakland High is at the top of the OAL for boys and girls almost. I think 'cause I think the girls, the Oakland Tech girls won
Yeah.
this year. Oakland Tech's boys won this year.
Mm-hmm.
And they've been pretty consistent for maybe the past 5 or 6 years. They've been really strong, those two teams, right?
Yeah.
But you always have like the Fremonts that like pop their head in. You have the Skyline that pop their head in. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what Castlemont has did recently. I think Castlemont is just over there just existing right now.
We're figuring it out.
Yeah. But the other teams, like they're consistently like in that conversation. You know what I'm saying? So you always know that they're going to be tough. And so we got in the year we got in the playoffs against we won the back sack. We got in and we ended up playing Castlemont.
Okay.
And Castlemont's defense, oh my God. Like I don't think like my boys had ever seen somebody like play full court press the entire game.
Yeah.
It was like, and it shook us, right?
Yeah.
It shook my players. They were like, what are we doing? And I had probably the worst game plan for it too. Cause I'm like, they gonna play full court press. I'm like, let's get this our big man and like let's let our big man kind of like move the ball a little bit. And he was like, nope, I'm gonna throw it to the other team. so I probably had like the worst like coaching strategy for that game ever.
Yeah.
Like, it was bad.
It's all learning, man. It's all learning.
Definitely. I learned from there. Probably shouldn't give it to your big man to like run an offense. Like you don't in the NBA it works, it don't work in like high school.
Yeah. He ain't ready. That's funny. So. What's your approach to building a team culture, and how do you foster leadership, accountability, and growth among your players?
I think culture starts with you as the coach and like trying to set the tone. Hard work, being able to communicate with players, treating them as young men, or when I took coach girls, young women, respect, right? Respecting each other, and also understanding, right? And so I think that starts off creating your culture. It's like, hey, like I know that all of us are very, very unique. We have very, very unique skills. We're all coming together and we all bring something different. Let's be able to share that and express that with each other. Right. So like we have the kid over here who might be like the fiery, like I got high energy, like, but I'm also like really angry at times. Like we got to know like, hey, like that's his personality. Like we got to be able to give him his space and also like be able to like talk to him and like let him know like, yo, like this ain't cool, but we still love you. You know what I'm saying? And then you have the kid who might not work that hard, but we like, yo, like we need you to work harder. You're part of this team. Like you gotta come in and work just as hard as everybody else. Or like you got the kid who's struggling with grades. So his teammates is like, hey, like we gonna come with you to like help you with your homework, to help you with your classwork. We gonna make sure that you get to class on time. Like stuff like that. And again, I preach family, right? Like I am a like that is so important to me because I always go back to like just my own high school experiences. My own experiences just being in Oakland and in Emeryville and in those areas being like, hey, like everybody I went to school with, I have a relationship with, right? Everybody that I was like in my community with, I had a relationship with. It was no like, and we could have had like, everybody had their conflicts. Everybody have their, you know what I'm saying? But like, there was never no, I don't have no bad blood with anybody.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Like I have good relationships with everybody. I want to see everybody do well. Because like as a kid, I always thought that like, hey, when we get older, like we all gonna be like still connected. You know what I'm saying? We
Yeah,
all will still be connected. We all from the same community. I hope that we all come back to this community. I mean, Oakland is an amazing place, right?
it really
Um,
is.
and so with that being said, like I expect to come back and see all those people that I grew up with in Oakland in some capacity. I expect to see all their kids here in some
Hmm.
capacity. You know what I'm saying? And I want to have that connection with them. I want
Hmm.
them to have that connection with me. I want to be able to be like, yo, like I remember your dad, such and such, which has
Yeah,
happened a lot of times now, right? Because like I
yeah,
teach in Oakland. So I'm
yeah,
seeing kids and being like, oh, I went to school with your dad. Oh, like me and like I know your mom. Like me and your mom was in class together. She used to help me with my math homework or
yeah,
things like that. Like, so I try to stress that to my team that like,
yeah.
yo, it's important to have those connections. And so we try to do, I try to encourage them to do lunch together. I try to encourage them to spend time with each other outside of the basketball court,
Hmm.
outside of, going to games together. Hey, let's go watch a basketball game. Let's go watch somebody else together.
Yeah,
Let's we can go train outside of here. Go train with your teammates outside of practice. You know
yep,
what I'm saying? Go do work together. Like and get to know each other outside of the basketball court. Because, when you do those connections outside of the court, they transfer into, to the floor,
yeah, they
right?
do.
You know what I'm saying? When you have that, you have those relationships, those friends, and you've been playing with them for a long time and you've been hanging around for, what's going on with them. You know what I'm saying? Oh,
Yep,
you know what? He's having a rough day today. Let's give him more space. Or, hey, you know what? He's on right now. Let's keep on feeding him the ball because, like all that stuff like connects.
it does. It
So,
does. Man, that's so true. Well, man, this has been a incredible conversation. Where can people follow your coaching journey or get in touch with you?
um, well, I'm at CCPA. So
Yep.
Coliseum College Prep Academy. That's on and if you're familiar with East Oakland, that's on Havens Court on
Hmm.
66. Around that corner, it used to be old Havens Court campus. So if you're an Oakland native, you know where that's at. It's right next to the village.
Yep.
Right next to the
Yep.
village. So everybody know where the village is.
Yeah.
Um, but you can come up there. You can also catch me on I'm on Facebook. You can look at my name, Tyjun Mack. Um, where else? Instagram is just Ty. Like I'm on Instagram. I'm on Facebook. Or you can just come up to the school, man. I'm always like I love when the community kind of comes in and just supports and helps.
Yeah.
Um, and that's the type of work that I'm on. I do. Not only that, I do work with Kingmakers of Oakland. So that's another organization in Oakland. That's a
Okay.
mentorship that we do. We have 40 boys that we mentor every 3 years, from 10th to 12th grade, getting them to college and stuff like that. And we do like mental health work. We do tutoring. We do college applications and all that stuff. Like we do so much work. So you can catch me with Kingmakers of Oakland. There's a bunch of like avenues you can catch me at. But I'm always available.
Well, yeah. Well, look, in the description of this video, I'm gonna post your Instagram, Facebook link, and then the Kingmakers link.
Yeah,
I think that is something super important, and the community needs that.
yeah, definitely. I'll give you all that. I'll give you all that information. I'll give you all that information. We can share it
Perfect.
with
Yep.
everybody. As well as my email address, tyjunmack@gmail. You can always reach out like that too. tyjunmack@gmail.com. And I do respond. And yeah, like I'm always like taking information. I'm taking tips. I'm trying to become a better coach, so I'm still working on my
Hmm.
craft. I want to get better.
Yep.
Um, if you have kids that want to come work, they always come work there.
Yes,
Uh,
sir.
Work with me. Like so our school service our community. So,
Yeah.
if you have a kid who's like, really um college oriented or you're a parent who's college oriented, I mean, check our school out. We have a really, really high college acceptance rate, 92%. Um,
Wow.
one of the best in the district. We are putting kids in college, have really, really good programs, AP courses, college courses, dual enrollment. Our school does a lot of amazing work. 2 teachers or 2 adults to every classroom. We have a lot of good stuff there. that's outside of the sports, and the sports is just a bonus. We're building that. Our girls basketball varsity just made they went to the backsack championship game this year.
Yes, sir. Congratulations.
Yeah, they were really, really solid. Last year, they won the backsack last year. They moved up in divisions, got to the championship game this year. They got to the OAL playoffs. They lost in the OAL playoffs, but again, really, they're a really, really young team. They got a girl there named Mia Carroza. She's a baller. I can really play. So we're doing some great things there, man. So, if parents, anybody's interested, come check us out.
Yes, sir. Well, thank you for stopping by. Everybody, subscribe to Athletic Conceptual Training podcast to check out this interview with Tyjun. I'm also going to see you at the end of the week, man. I'm so excited about that.
Yes, my kids are excited, man. I told them, they was like, "What?" I was like, "Yeah, we're gonna do this whole training session."
Yeah.
So it should be super dope this Friday. And we got the gym, we got the space. Let's make it happen.
Yeah, man, I'm really excited about that and meeting everybody and just sharing and joining the movement, man. I really admire what you're doing, and just as much as I did when I was a youngster growing up, man. It's good to see you continuing that good work, and I'm just blessed and feel humbled and honored enough to be able to be in a position to join and pass that on as well.
Yeah, appreciate you, man. And like I say, I'm looking forward to you being there because like I want my kids to see somebody else outside of me in the community, kind of playing, kind of doing that work. I've told them about you already. I'm like, man, y'all don't understand, man. This young bull. I remember when I was older, and it was him. It was Antonio Kellogg. Like it was a couple of y'all younger that was coming up, and y'all was playing up with us.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, like these kids gonna be good, man. Like these dudes is good. And I remember like you was playing, but you was also playing football. I think football was football your first passion. So I remember I was like, yo, like this kid could really be good if you like locked in on basketball. But I know you was playing like football, you was playing running back, and you was killing it.
Ooh, yeah, man.
You was killing it.
We'll get into that another time.
But I mean, I was just like, yo, like this kid, like, I mean, when you used to put the ball on the floor and drive to the rim, I just remember like we legit could not stop you. I was like, man, like this dude can just get to the rim. Like it ain't nothing we could do. Like he's too quick. Well, and I was quick.
Yeah, well, it was. One thing that I really do preach to kids is multiple sports, because football helps me in basketball.
Yes.
Because it made me a better defender and it helps me with footwork and explosiveness.
Yeah.
But then basketball helped me with football because it taught me to be a little bit more savvy with my movements. So, and especially in the running back position, I mean, and then sometimes I would just go out there like we were playing in the street, like football in the street, and I would just go play tag.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't want to get hit.
Yeah. Exactly.
So, I mean, but it was a lot of fun, man. I really love where we grew up. I loved Oakland, I love that area because it bred that competition from an early age, and what a lot of people strive for naturally, we had already as a mindset and heart.
Yeah, I mean, I think growing up in Oakland like puts that in you, right? It is survival of the fittest type society, but like it also felt like it was human nature for us to be competitive with each other, and then also to like big up each other at the end.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? It was like, like we was out there trying to kill each other, man. Like it was physical. You know what I'm saying? And then after the game, we was like, yo, like how you feel? You good?
Yeah.
Oh, let's go to the store and grab like a red hot burrito.
The blue
soda.
store.
You know let's go to the blue store. Let's go. You know what I'm saying? Hey, where y'all about to go hang out at? Let's go hang out together. Like it was always that. Yep. You know what I'm saying? After we like got on the court and we, talked the gang and crap to each other. You know what I'm saying? We beat each other up. Like, man, you came to the rim, you got hammered. Stuff like that. So, I think that Oakland, just growing up in Oakland and knowing that, like, I think it built us up to like be successful, right? Like to just like understand that like There's going to be competition. Things are going to be hard. You push through it. You figure out ways to get through it. You know what I'm saying? And you like fight through it. You know you got to do it, right? It's like there's no it's there. You know that's going to be the challenge. You got to push through it.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? And so that Oakland that we grew up in was that. And I think like now it's changed a little bit. It's changed a lot, honestly. It's changed a lot. But then it was literally like, okay, like we gonna figure this out.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You had to. You had no choice.
I'll stay home.
Yeah, or you sit on the sideline and watch everybody else play. Don't even play, bro. Just stay over there.
Well, hey man, I'll see you next week. Thank you again for joining. Ladies and gentlemen, Tyjun Mack.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate you having me on, man.
Yes, sir.